Hey guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another Summoners War video. Today I want to talk about the balance patch because it has semi-landed. We have a pre-notice, which is essentially the notice. Nothing much changes once the official one drops. We all know that. So let's go through it together because some of the core units have been touched and also some LD5s also has been touched that I currently own. Before we go in, I have some news. If you guys haven't seen my YouTube post, I did pull the Windstark, unfortunately, before the nerf. Oh, sorry. Blooper right there, right? Windstark did get nerfed. It was a meaningful one. Granted, it should have been nerfed. We'll have to see how much it's been impacted. I'm pretty sure people that's been using it till now since the release are gonna cry about it because obviously a lot of people have been climbing with it, but as someone like me who has still not used him in RTA, I'm gonna think that he's gonna still be okay. Now, why do I have this screen up? I have been summoning because I did get the Windstark. Although that was outside of stream or outside of a video, it's highly likely that I'm more lucky from the past experiences I've had. Still want to show you guys that maybe if I do get something good, it'd be cool. So let's summon this free rent scroll that I currently have. Who knows, maybe something new. And if I get something crazy, that will be a great opening for this video. Let's go. Show me something good. Of course, Ubel. Hey guys, before we start the video, if you guys are interested in getting advice and help from me and other Summoners War players, feel free to join my Discord, where the link is in the descriptions below. Also, if you enjoy my content and want to support me, become a Patreon, where the link for it is also in the descriptions. So, pre-notice, which is essentially the notice. This is gonna be the exact same thing, especially for the major part of it. So, don't expect much to change from this. The very first thing is already a big unit that has been extremely impactful for the past season. Megumi, Fire Tetsuya, right? His passive increases your attack bar by 30%, has been changed to 20%. Now, before understanding how impactful this is, you guys could apply this change exactly to the Gandalf change because the Gandalf had this exact boost. I think he also got a 30% attack bar increase whenever an ally with a shield got attacked, and that got decreased to 20%, or is it 20 to 10? I initially thought that wasn't a huge deal, but it actually is. It's a huge deal. It's pretty impactful. Now, does that make this unit unusable? Absolutely not. Gandalf, you still see him in the right situation. He still works decently well. Fire Megumi, was he too strong as a turn breaker? The gameplay showed that. So I do think this is a justified nerf. I do think the 30% to 20% is going to be pretty impactful. We're going to see his win rate drop, but I think it is the right direction. It was the one core passive of his that was, for some people, many people, it was ruining their game, right? So I think that's fine. Zenitsu, oh, the dark one. Now this is juicy, right? People who had him, they felt too strong. So the passive again, the increase in the damage dealt according to your critical rate is decreased by 20%. Okay, so that's a pretty big decrease, and increases your attack bar by 15 to 10% whenever your attack lands as a critical hit. Again, you guys might think that 15 to 10% is not big, but that's effectively 30%, right? 5%, it's gone. It's a 30% nerf essentially of the attack bar increase. Again, if you apply that to the 30% to 20%, again, it's a 30%. I don't know if the percentage is right, but you guys see what I mean. I think it's going to be impactful. I do think it's going to get weaker. I do think it's going to impact the win rate. I mean, that's funny to say. Of course, it's going to impact the win rate. It's a nerf. Oracle Light, predictive future, an effect only on the Light Oracle. The predictive future for all the other Oracles are a strip into dots, whereas for Oracle, I believe she has a slow, but now that has decreased from 90 to 75%. These percentage is actually pretty big, knowing that the game is already so RNG-ish, even with the strips, right? 100% doesn't really mean 100%, unless it's like a guaranteed strip. With the small amount of games, you guys might feel like it's not much, but I'm pretty sure in the big scheme of things, if you guys take in the big data, the 90 to 75% will be a pretty big nerf. So we're gonna see less of those slows being applied, which will impact again the game. Slow is a huge deal, especially if you go into guardianish because the opponent will be just taking so many more turns because they're so fast. If you have a slow, you're essentially moving only one time while maybe the opponent moves 2 times, or that's maybe too much. Maybe you're moving twice when the opponent is moving 3 times, something like that. I am not as confident as the nerf that Megumi and the Dark Zenitsu has gotten, but I mean, it's the right direction. It's hard to nerf something, especially in LD5 that's gotten a buff only a balance patch ago. She was like almost useless before her buff, so come on guys. So if you guys take most of that away, it's essentially gutting her again. So I think this is the right direction, and again, it's a skill that only the Light Oracle gets impacted in. I think it's the right way to go. Zenitsu Water, something that I don't have. I do want this unit. It's on a passive again. Decreases the cooldown of your skill by 1 turn. Increase. And wait, is this? Oh, this is changing. Wait, so does that mean before it decreased the cooldown of your skill by 1 turn whenever an ally falls under an inability effect, and now that's changing to increase your attack bar by 35%? Gains immunity against inability effect. Increases your attack bar by 35% whenever you attack an enemy under inability effect. So whenever you attack. And then decreases the cooldown of your skills by 1 turn whenever an ally falls. Oh, okay. So you increase your attack bar whenever you hit an enemy with an ability effect. And we're also increasing your attack bar by 35% whenever an ally falls under an ability effect. So the cooldown is gone. The decrease of the cooldown of your skill is gone, but instead it's changing into an attack bar on the other side whenever an ally now gets hit or falls under an inability effect. The other attack bar was when you're hitting an opponent with the inability effect. Interesting. So like it's like so many turns if you pair it off with the correct team. Interesting change. I don't know where they got the idea of changing this. Was this needed? If anybody knows why or has an idea why they changed this, please let me know. Stark Wind. This is a big one. The passive increases your attack bar by 30 has been changed to 20. Again, this is gonna be decent. Okay, this might seem small, but it's a decent change. This makes the rune requirement to get even higher for people runing Wind Stark, especially if they want to be cutting in between. Now, for Stark, he has to get hit for the attack bar increase to occur, so it's much harder for him to cut. And I do think many people, a lot of people were runing their Stark more on 250-ish, maybe 260, extremely high HP with a lot of crit damage on 100 crit rate. They won't be able to do the extreme amount of HP, especially is when they are having to maybe make their Stark on 270, 280 to get their chance of cutting in between with a 20% boost. It's going to be decent. It effectively makes the Stark less tankier, so make it squishier because they're trying to ruin their Stark in a certain way. Now, if they're not doing that, if they're not ruining Stark to be a first turn interrupter, by stealing a turn, it might be a different story. Maybe they could still ruin it the way it was, but the caveat is the other sentence right there. The increase in the damage dealt to the enemy is limited to 200%. So now there is a limit. He can't get as strong as before, so he won't be as the crazy machine monster that it used to be. Unfortunate, but I think it is the right direction. We all know that it was way too strong. Everybody that's making content with this unit or experiencing him in RTA was saying that he was way too strong, so it was bound to be. Starkfire, the one I tested with, Cleaving Light, skill 3, deals additional damage equal to 70, now changes to 100% of your HP loss. Now, I do think this was a interesting change. It wasn't like a huge change because you're essentially doing more damage. I think it was hard to get into that condition. People did tell me to try using him in Dark Undyne, but I don't think I could just bring out Dark Undyne and then Fire Stark. I think they'll just ban the Dark Undyne, or they'll just ban Fire Stark and the Dark Undyne skill 3. Who do I use it on? Well, Leo, I guess. That's really only the thing I could do. It was more of trying to get him into that state where his HP is gonna get low so that he can use skill 3 to input that crazy damage. If you build him on a lot of HP, and that's what you should do. I don't think you even need crit rate or crit damage, whatever. You just need a lot of HP, and when you get low enough, you use that skill 3 to kill something off because you're doing 100% of your HP lost. So if you have 50k HP, you lost 40k, you're doing 40k onto the opponent. Fern. Water, wind, dark damage is increased by 25%. I have the water one, so I actually didn't do a real damage test with her. I guess we'll get to see. I guess we'll get to see after the buff. Eivor, Mercenary Queen, water, passive. The stat threshold for effect granted at the start of the battle is... Oh, I think this is a horrible change. I don't think the passive... reaching the passive threshold was ever a problem. And it will never be a problem as you get it into the mid-late game, because everybody should have decent runes. But I guess people can make an argument saying, oh, but now I don't need this much defense to get this stat, so I could put more stats here. That, I guess, I kind of understand, and I get your point, but still, I think as a unit itself, it's not a big change. It's a very, very small change in my opinion. Unicorn Water, Protection Wings. That's also the passive. Recovers your HP by 15%, now changed to 25% at the start of your turn. That's actually a decent HP recovery, but it's only onto yourself. So it's sustainability on yourself. Really, the water unicorn rarely gets used outside of Siege, so I don't know where they saw the need again of this change. Really, this Eivor and unicorn change is stupid. They should have added some other unit. Nana Williams, also water. I never use this unit, so I don't know. Passive. Increase your attack bar by 100% when an enemy with 50%. Now changed to 70% HP or below recovers HP. Gets a good counter against Fire Inosuke, right? Because Fire Inosuke is constantly healing. If it goes over 70%... Oh, no. It doesn't have to go over 70%. For any unit that has less than 70% HP, if they recover HP, it doesn't matter whatever amount, Sasha will gain 100% attack bar. And then, assuming that recovery did not put him above the 70% threshold, and they recover again, then Sasha will again gain 100% attack bar. Interesting. What's the water on Nat 4 or Nat 5? M Bison Slayer, Water, Wind, Dark, Psycho Crusher. That's skill 2. Decreases the defense of 2 turns if the enemy is already provoked. Okay. That's not bad. Water is never used, so that's not going to do anything. Wind 1, that's going to be pretty annoying for people that use him, because he does have an AoE provoke, and then he gets his skill 2 up pretty frequently. It lands pretty well. A guaranteed... Is it a guaranteed? Yeah, it's a guaranteed defense break. That's pretty cool. And Dark is also very annoying. His skill 1 is going to provoke, and skill 2 is going to always land defense break. It's going to be kind of annoying. I guess it's a small buff to the Dark one and the Wind one. The Water one, not even worth mentioning because it's never used. Justice, Water, Light. I do have the Water one. I've noticed. I didn't know I had her. I pulled her a long time ago. Purifying Mediation. It's going to now do... It removes 1 harmful effect on all allies. 1 harmful effect, damn. And recovers their HP by 20%. In addition, increases the attack bar of all allies by 50% if no harmful effects were removed. Before, it was remove 1 harmful effect on all allies and then increase their attack bar by 20%. Wait, what? In addition, it recovers the HP of allies with harmful effects removed by 30%. Is this a buff? It's a guaranteed heal for all allies, but the attack bar increases only on the allies that didn't get harmful effects removed. Whereas before, it was a guaranteed 1 harmful effect removal and increased their attack bar by 20%. So does that mean it wasn't a guaranteed attack bar increase? It only increased the attack bar by people had harmful effects? And then in addition, recovers the HP of all allies with harmful effects removed by 30%. If the before was both not a guaranteed, then I guess the 2B is going to be better because at least it has the guaranteed heal on everybody. That's just my thought. I could be wrong. Dr. Plasma, Water, Wind, Light. I believe I have one of these. I'm not too sure. Head Bomb decreases the defense with a 100% chance. Okay, the fact that they put 100% means that it's not a guaranteed, okay? Unlike the Water, Wind, Dark, it says decrease the defense for 2 turns if the enemy is already provoked. That's a condition. So if they're provoked, it's going to be a guaranteed defense break, I believe. Whereas for the Dr. Plasma, there's a 100% chance, right? Now it just means that it could still get resisted. Okay, it's a defense break if there were no harmful effects to remove. And then the dark one, fast charge passive. Like these passive changes should be pretty impactful. Increases the attack bar of all allies by 25%. Is now 35%. That's a big increase. When you fall under an inability effect or gain a turn with a harmful effect, dude. That's Dr. Plasma is kind of interesting. The dark one, I think it's gonna be pretty good. Druid Water. I saw this. So all the provokes has changed to 70%, and also the light one got a cooldown reduction of 1 turn. Was that enough? Probably not. There's just too many passive these days where either the harmful effect gets removed due to their passive, like Tetra, Vero, Juno, so on and so forth. And the other part is that there is the existence of Nora, which causes all these provokes to be a big problem. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a huge deal. I mean, for people that's using the Water Druid as the one healer in a game, I think the provoke will be decent because provoking the enemy is gonna kind of disrupt their team, especially. And then for the wind one, I guess it's gonna be pretty good in siege, but you do have to build it well enough where it doesn't die by a lot of those anti-revive units that are not present in the game. Monkey King Fire. So this is the one fire damage that I said was extremely popular like a couple seasons ago. We have rarely seen it last season with the rise of Fire Inosuke and such, but he now increases his attack speed by 12%, okay guys, then 10%. So it's a small change, but again, these percent changes is more impactful than you think. If you guys might think that's a small number, but I think it might be pretty good. Archangel Wind. These Archangels needed to be touched. The Wind one especially didn't do anything, especially a revive. It still only does a revive, but now with the 70% HP. So yeah, it's like a huge revive, right? I wonder if you could see a crazy arena defense with this unit. Who knows? But not used anywhere else than arena and siege defense, I believe, and siege offense. Archangel Light counterattacks the enemy instantly with a critical hit, then now always crits when you or an ally is attacked. Okay, that's actually pretty good too. So even if you have glancing, it doesn't matter because glancing would have affected the 100% critical rate, but now it doesn't matter if you have that debuff. You'll just always crit. Also, you'll always crit things like Kinky. Oh, actually, that can never happen because Kinky can't crit. But there are certain units where you can crit if you have a certain condition, right? Let's say Sonya. The chance of getting glance is increased if your attack speed or attack power is lower, something like that. But now, for the Artemel, it doesn't matter. If the Sonya crits, then the Artemel is critting you. Same with things like, what else is there? You guys know what I mean. Okay, here are the LE5s. The Light Geralt, Adrenaline, the passive. The decrease in damage taken based on adrenaline score is increased by approximately 67%. Oh, the damage you take decreased up to 15 to 25% based on your adrenaline score. That's a pretty big one. The more survivability on the unit, that's actually decent. Desert Queen Light, Gaze of Oblivion absorbs the attack bar of all enemies by 15%. Okay, that's not bad either because you build this unit with high accuracy anyway, so we could hope that it mostly lands. So taking the attack bar is not bad, but is it gonna be good? It's a question, and I don't think so. I think it's gonna be more of a counter against a big passive team. I guess it's okay because where else you're gonna expect to use a Light Desert Queen other than a big counter to a passive team? Sea Emperor Dark. Wow, they're touching the Manananan. King of Ruins passive, increase the damage dealt to enemies under harmful effects. Wow, my goodness. Dude, I wonder how he's going to perform in arena offense. I think it's going to be crazy. Essentially, I think now he needs setup. Devil Maiden. Dark. Power of Destruction. The critical rate is applied as 100%. So again, this 100%. Why can't they just make it a guaranteed crit like they did to the Artemel, right? There's going to be 100% crit on this. But that just means it's going to be affected by glancing and such. So I don't think that change is going to do much, guys. If it was a guaranteed crit, maybe different. But it's going to be more impactful for sure if it was that. Cannon Girl Dark, I have this unit as well. Burst Cannon. And now increases the damage of burst cannon by 10% per enemy hit on enemy. Huh? Increase the damage of burst cannon by 10% per hit on enemy, up to 100%. And always attack with critical hit if the damage increase is fully stacked. Stack count resets when the skill is used. Damage is decreased by approximately 25%. What does this mean? Skill 4. So increase the damage by 10% per enemy you hit with this? Per hit on the enemy, up to 100%. But if it only hits once, like, oh, actually it hits twice, right? 1, 2. So it has to we have to at least use it 5 times. I don't know what this means. Sage Dark, Inhale Magic. I have to use that unit. I'm not too sure. Sage Dark, Inhale Magic. This is funny because I feel like this is a change because they saw what happened in that SWC or whatever Legends tournament. The person who used this failed to strip any beneficial effect, and then the attack bar increase didn't come in, and which cost him the game. But now there is an increase even if you don't strip anything. It's 10%, but if you strip anything else you get another 10%. I think that's a funny change. It's definitely from that game. Justice Dark, Summary Justice. For enemies with defense lower than yours, the damage they'll increase according to your defense. Then that's gone. But now for enemies with attack power lower than yours, the damage they'll increase by 80 to now 100%. And the increase in damage dealt according to your attack speed against enemies with attack speed lower than yours is increased by approximately 15%. Okay, so they're just getting rid of all of the conditions and increasing the damage on everything else. Pure Vanilla Cookie Dark. Ooh, that's a big absorption. I'm guessing that was skill 3 that did the strip, but her base speed is so bad. If she's brought on the right team, it's gonna be more detrimental, but for speed teams, anybody contesting first turn, it's gonna be hard. You really have to pick him at well. Usura, Water. Passive, increase your attack power by 50, 100%, up to 1,000 whenever you attacked. Ooh, that's interesting. You can't use this guy in like dungeons and stuff though, right? I think it's reset in per stage. So this is definitely a siege or even just a regular RTA type of thing. But I think it's more of a siege change. Magic Knight, all blade surge. The damage of the first and second enemy targets decreased by 50%, and the damage of the third all hit is increased by 50%. Okay, that's cool. I wonder how this changed in dungeon runs for like Ashtar. Magic Knight, Wind, Tempest Sword. Nobody uses this unit. Attack the enemy 2 times. Now it leaves a branding of wait, branding? Away for a dungeon maybe? I'm not sure. Magic Knight, Dark. Grants Oblivion for 2 turns. Hey! Wait, but that's a single target Oblivion, right? Again, maybe a siege change. String Master Dark. Increase the damage of oh, hey, Siege Cleaves. 5% more damage. Dragon Warrior Water. Dragon Strike goes under the threat state while enemies attack with a single target skill. Oh, now only 2 times? Now, I think this change is coming due to his change in Awakening. I think he's getting faster, so they're effectively making his skill a little weaker. Spectre Princess Fire. Absorbs the attack power of all enemies by 50, now 30. Again, this is gonna be because of her skill leader change. She's now a speed lead. Now, because of these changes, right, anything related to speed, they are a little powerful, so I think they're effectively touching their skills and making it weaker. You'll see here, the leader skill for Fire Spectre Princess is now 24% attack speed, and for Wind is increase the HP of all allies by 33%. This is cool because now she could actually be the lead of a arena defense, and also she's a decent lead in RTA, where she still will get pulled out with the Fire Megumi, or maybe just by herself. I'm not too sure. This is a big change here, the Awakening effect. I do think they made changes that fit the unit more, so I am happy with this. Something to note is, again, Dragon Warrior. You see that it increased the attack speed by 15%. Devil Maiden, what is that unit? Forgot the unit, but you know what I'm talking about. 25% increased accuracy, so that makes it easier for us to rune her with less accuracy but faster speed, more tankiness. So I think those are pretty big changes for RT, especially. Bastet, increase in accuracy, makes sense for skill 2. Chimera, again, you don't need crit rate because Squall always crits with the right conditions, so they gave him more accuracy. Lightning Emperor, Wind Odin, more crit rate. All of these make more sense, so these are good changes. Yeah, so I think that's really it. Also, the Mermaid all are getting better speed, so maybe that will also affect how the siege defenses will be made, especially with the wind one and fire one. Am I happy with the balance patch? I'm not too sure, but they did address a lot of the strong units that was affecting RTA, especially Windstark. I think this is a pretty decent change, making him less powerful, but still not gutting him. Then the Megami is definitely a good change as well. I think this is a meaningful change. We saw what it did with Water Gandalf, and I think we will see the same effect, and people will notice that, oh, it's not that crazy anymore. People that cry about it, still saying that it sucks against my team, those people don't want to adapt. They just want to be playing one playstyle because they have this LD5, so also for this type of Swift Rune. That's on you, because I mean, if you want to play a game where you can just use one team and keep winning, go make your own game, and you'll be the only player there. This is a game where a lot of people try to play, what's the strongest, have a big box so they could draft and counter other people's drafts, and it takes a lot of units to be in play, and it forces you to build a lot of units to deal with a lot of different team comps. If you don't want to adjust to that, then yeah, you'll just keep complaining in every different meta. But that's my review on the pre-balance patch. Again, essentially the balance patch. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Was it a good one? Was it a bad one? Are you happy that the Fire Megami and the Windstark getting touched? I'm interested. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.